100% walking can make you feel better, but not all the time, not in every circumstance. In this video, I'm going to talk about 4 ways that walking actually can help you feel better, and to present the other side, 4 ways that walking can, well, make you feel worse. Before we get started, if you're brand new to this channel, hi, I'm Dave. It's important for you to know that I'm not a doctor. I'm not a licensed personal trainer. This video is not intended to be specific medical advice for you. I'm simply a guy who loves walking, and since 2013, I've averaged about 19,000 steps a day. And to encourage and motivate others to walk more, I host a podcast, Walking is Fitness. Every day there's a brand new episode, 10 minutes long, and I record each episode not in a studio, but while I'm out walking, like I am now. Let's take a walk. All right, so let's start with 4 ways that walking can actually make you feel worse. Number 1, this might be a no-brainer, but we certainly need to mention it, and that is if you are injured or sick, walking can make you feel worse. If you have a broken leg, the doctor's not going to say, you know what, you just need to go out and walk more, and that'll help it. Nope, you need to stay off of it. And if you're sick, and what you really need is rest, going out and taking a walk could make it worse. You're not going to feel better taking that walk. So that's number 1. Number 2, if you're just getting started, if you've made the decision that you need to move more, that you need to pursue fitness, that you need to exercise, and that walking is going to be your fitness activity, early on, you may not feel better. Those walks might actually make you feel worse. Going from a sedentary lifestyle to a lifestyle where you're moving more, it's gonna be hard. And so those early walks might actually make you feel worse, which is why I recommend that you start small, think long. Don't start with 10,000 steps a day. Instead, start with a walk of 10 minutes a day and build that fitness capacity so that you're able to walk longer and so that those walks don't make you feel worse. But you know what? Sometimes even when you've been walking for a long time and the circumstances change, those walks might actually make you feel worse. My wife and I recently were in Asheville, North Carolina, in the Blue Ridge Mountains, very hilly. Right now we live in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, very flat. We did a lot of walking in Asheville, and a lot of that walking was up and down hills. Let me tell you, going up some of those hills, we'd get about 2/3 of the way up, we're talking, and then we're out of breath, and we have to stop talking, and in that moment, yeah, we didn't feel better, we felt worse. But of course, you know, pushing yourself, adding some intensity, hills are good, and we'd get to the top of the hill, catch our breath, and it was like, yeah, we just did that. But in the moment, walking up that hill, we didn't feel better, we felt worse. Number 3, if you're walking in a situation, a location where you don't feel safe, well, that's going to add stress, and that's certainly not going to make you feel better. Again, while we were in Asheville, we were walking back from getting breakfast, and we turned the corner onto the street where our Airbnb was located, and 10 feet away was a black bear. Stress levels went up, anxiety went up. In that moment, we didn't feel safe. Gratefully, the bear didn't care about us, continued across the street, continued moving away. You might be in a situation, a location where it doesn't feel safe to walk. I'm familiar of a story of an older woman who was diagnosed with prediabetes, and her doctor said, you need to make some changes. And so one of the things that she started doing was walking every day for 30 minutes. She didn't feel safe leaving her apartment. So she spent 30 minutes every day in her 2-room apartment walking back and forth, back and forth. But if you're walking in a location where you don't feel safe, that's probably going to make you feel worse. And then number 4, if you are encountering extreme weather, heat, and humidity, that can suck the life out of you. that's not going to make you feel better. That's going to make you feel worse. Or in the wintertime, the cold temperatures and those winds and the wind chills, yeah, that can make you feel worse too. It's one of the reasons why Ava and I moved 500 miles south. I was getting a little tired of those winter days and dealing with those wind chills. All right, so 4 ways that walking can make you feel better. Now this is going to sound like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, but there are certain circumstances and situations where walking can actually help alleviate pain. Certain forms of arthritis can feel less intense if you're moving more, if you're walking more. Walking can alleviate certain types of back pain. I've got a friend who's dealing with some significant sciatic right now. He can't sit for more than 15 minutes. He needs to get up and take a walk to feel better. A handful of years ago, I had plantar fasciitis. It's a condition of the feet, very painful. I would get out of bed in the morning, it was like stepping on glass. It was extremely painful. Walking eliminated, lowered that pain. And as I continued walking, that plantar fasciitis felt better. Again, I'm not a doctor. Please talk to your doctor for specific medical advice for you. But there are situations, there are circumstances where walking can help lower pain. Number 2, if you're feeling anxiety, walking can help you feel better. And I think intuitively we know this. There's lots of research backing this up. But when we're feeling anxiety, when we're feeling stress, frustration, anger, we just need to get out and get some air, stretch our legs, whatever euphemism we use for taking a walk. Because we know through experience that when we walk, emotionally we feel better. So that's the second way that walking can help you feel better. Number 3, walking is a great long-term investment in your health. It can lower the risk of heart disease, certain types of cancer, type 2 diabetes, dementia, and other conditions. And even though in the moment you may not feel better, long term, as you continue to walk and make that commitment to walking, those conditions aren't part of your life. I'm 64 years old. And gratefully, I'm not struggling. I'm not dealing with those conditions. Every year, I get an annual physical, and my doctor keeps giving me an A+. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it, he says. And I understand there are no guarantees. I understand that genetics plays a role in that. And there's no way to directly connect how I feel today to all the walking that I've done. But I feel pretty confident that that commitment to fitness has had a long-term impact, and I feel better today because of all the walking that I've done. So that's number 3. And the number 4, fitness is hard. Making a commitment to exercise every day is hard. And when you do a hard thing, you actually feel better about yourself. When I make the decision to lean into the hard and not push the easy button, I feel better. Bottom line, not every walk is going to help you feel better. There are some walks where you might actually feel worse. But long-term, big picture, for most of us, walking will help us feel better. If you want to make a commitment to walking every day or at least consistently, and maybe you've tried before, but it just hasn't stuck, you haven't been able to stick with it, I want to invite you to check out my podcast, Walking is Fitness. Every day there's a new 10-minute episode, and it's designed to help you start fitness, to help you start walking and stick with it. And I'd love it if we could take a daily walk together using the podcast, Walking is Fitness. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a great day.